12 minutes late, but it's okay. We're here Tuesday night, Talkin Tigers, live here on Busted Knee Sports. How are we doing, y'all? It's one of my favorite nights of the week. You just sit here and talk ball, talk about the week that was, talk about some news relative to guys in the league because it's NFLSU. Okay, we got some baseball news, just a little bit to talk about, just a little dabble of baseball news. What's going on? How's everyone doing? Tuesday night Talkin Tigers, man. How we doing? Jared, what's good? Tiger Nation. How do we feel after the week that we beat Nichols? And we look forward to South Carolina in today's show. Is Nuss healthy? Yes, he is. We do have some injury news that unfortunately does need to be talked about tonight on the show. It sucks, but it's reality of the situation. 2 weeks into the season. I'm confident going into this week. You know, we're gonna get into it. First things first. Thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Before we get any further in the show, and I had a couple scriptures from Proverbs that I was gonna tell you guys about. But just trust in the Lord with all your heart. There's salvation and hope in Jesus Christ, and God is the only reason I'm standing here today. God is the only reason this page is succeeding. Because if I make content with good intention, God will provide me fruits of my labor. And I'm just thankful for the show tonight. This is episode 21, y'all. A lot of people give up on their shows before the 20 episode mark. So I'm just thankful to be here. But with that being said, we're looking forward to tonight's show. I know Jacob is right in the path of that hurricane. So let me send him his request to get in here. I hope y'all had a great week. I hope y'all very much enjoy. Hi, Mike the Tiger. What's going on, Mike the Tiger? Tiger Nation. We feeling good this week? We feeling, you know, little down this week. How are we feeling about the program? Because I'm feeling good going into South Carolina. Started the show a little bit later because it took me a bit longer to jot some notes down about the squad. Hey. For those who don't know, this man right here is a season ticket holder. So he was there to kick off the 100th year of Tiger Stadium with a W. How we feeling, brother? It's good to be back.
Give me 1 second.
Good to be back on the program. Tiger Nation. Let's go. Had to push the LSU helmet back on the wall behind me. It is Harold Perkins' birthday. It is Harold Perkins' birthday. So happy birthday, 7. Happy birthday, man. We really love you here at Busted Knee Sports and the Talkin Tigers show. I love the fact this man's wearing 7. As a matter of fact, that'll probably be the background that I'm going. What's going on, Oregon Ducks? Quacking on in here.
Quack, quack.
What's quacking, pal? What's quacking? Put that up. Happy birthday to Mr. Big Perk himself. So,
now come Saturday, play like it's his birthday.
Bro, I'm telling you, he better turn it up, dude. I feel like he will. We're going to get into it. Y'all, we're going to recap the week that was. We're going to talk about the Nichols game to start off. We're going to get into the South Carolina game. We were talking about some individual things to try to have us a little segmented show tonight. So, we say a happy birthday to Harold Perkins. Let's give a shout out to all the NFL guys that tore it up this weekend. Brian Thomas Jr., we saw your touchdown. We saw your touchdown, BTJ. I didn't play you in fantasy. I wish I had. So, you know, BTJ, Brian Thomas Jr. down there made his debut. Malik Neighbors, totally different quarterback situation for Malik. Lord bless
but he did.
Man.
He did good. Malik did good. He had 5 catches for like 56 yards or 60-something yards?
I ain't gonna lie. As long as Daniel Jones is this quarterback, he ain't getting any end zone.
Right.
But it took the Giants 10 years to figure out, hey, LSU has damn good receivers. The last time we took one, it worked out pretty good for us. So we're shout out to him. Jaden got his first career start, scored his first career touchdown. Is Washington the best team overall right now? No, they're not. But our defensive guys got their reps in as well with the Jacksonville Tigers, basically down there.
Yeah.
But a guy like Chill Taste, man. Chill Taste Darren, man. He's a Jags fan. So shout out to them. Shout out to the Jags. I bet on the Dolphins and I was right. I put a parlay in. I was 3/4 of that parlay. And you know who let me down? The man whose jersey I have on now, Joe let me down this week in the parlay department, bro. Come on, Bengals. I thought
Hey,
he was going to win, bro.
Burrow, he's 1-4 in game ones in his
I
NFL
should
career.
I should have looked at it, bro. I should have looked at it. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers for playing the full game last night. Let's go, Aaron Rodgers. It's going to probably take him a couple weeks to get back into it.
Yeah.
If he can be someone what he used to be, he's going to be good. But that's a little trip around the NFL. Foster Moreau for the Saints. Saints won big over Carolina. We're the best team in the league after week 1 every year. And then it just goes downhill like that at some point in the year. The Derek Carr train will fall off the tracks at some point. But shout out to Foster Moreau. Kicking cancer's butt, dude. Keep kicking cancer's butt, Foster Moreau. We love you here. So, with that being said, let's get into the Nichols game, man.
It was a rough one, but I've seen a lot of positives from it. Actually, I went to the game. I got there about 2:00. Let me give you a little story about like tailgating. You know, it was weird. It's not like a regular tailgate because I'm from the city of Thibodeau where Nichols is based in. So going to a tailgate and being with the visitors fans that you know, like I knew all of them. Like I know more Nichols fans than I do like LSU fans at a tailgate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a good time. I would like to see LSU play a little bit better, but I mean, they did what they had to do. I mean, Nichols was they were ready to play. I mean,
they come in there coach.
They have one of the most respectable coaches in Louisiana, to tell you the truth. So even if the score would have been like could have got worse, I don't even see Brian Kelly even trying to run up the score on Rebo, who's the coach for Nichols.
That just shows his like physicality. Don't get me anyway.
Yeah, so like, but Nichols did come out from what I've seen. They came out running plays that like running a type of offense that they don't normally typically run. Like they came out in a different like wishbone, which they don't run the wishbone. And I know people could say, but it's Nichols. Like you still could have stopped it. But if a team is not used to seeing something, it's going to take them a while to get used to it. Their eyes are not in the right spot, but I mean,
shout out to the follow from the McCready and Siskey podcast, man. Go check them out on MPW Digital on YouTube. That is Coach Siskey, who coached all around the block, high school level, lower level D1, and even in the SEC with a good old Hugh Freeze, who's now at Auburn, and the GOAT, Nick Saban. So thank you for tuning in, Coach, and dropping the follow. But anyway.
So, I mean, like Nichols scored on one trick play, the wide receiver threw a touchdown pass. Great catch by the other wide receiver in the end zone for a touchdown. Then Guggenheim, who's the running back, he had that 65-yard run. I mean, LSU played it pretty good, but they had one guy missed his assignment, and that's what it led to.
That was the only time they scored in the second half, though.
Yeah. And, I mean, the biggest takeaway of me from the game is, which is not good news, is LSU's best defensive lineman towards Achilles out for the year. In the first quarter.
Damn. Jacoby Guillory, y'all. Jacoby Guillory, man. Thoughts and prayers go out to you, brother.
And so, like, after the game, like, from LSU fans, from Nichols fans, from even people here on TikTok was like, man, y'all barely can beat, Nichols State. But if you know LSU football's team, like, we rotated, like, guys on the D-line that haven't got in, like, this year.
Mm-hmm.
We rotated 2 new cornerbacks, Zai Alexander and KJ Johnson. They haven't seen the field. Zai Alexander is coming off of an ACL injury from last year. He was arguably their best corner last year. So he got some playing time. KJ Johnson, he got his first playing time in the year. So they were rotating a whole bunch of guys like in and out. Like
that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, we got South Carolina this week. Not to say we were overlooking Nichols, but come on, man. You go out there and out-athlete Nichols.
They were overlooking Nichols. I mean, it's no excuse.
Not an excuse. We should have beat them by 60, but
yeah. But all in all, like I would have liked to come away with that game injury free, and and unfortunately we didn't. I mean, we lost a big part of our D line, who's
A guy that was coming back, who's a leader on and off the field too. Like
yeah,
to lose Jacoby and to lose Jacoby and like that sucks. He just became a dad too not too long ago. So shout out to all the dads out there. Yeah, we obviously all got a daddy. We come from somewhere, so and it's stuff we don't like to see. And then Prince Melbourne got hurt last in the first game of the year as well, and he tore his ACL. He's out, or ACL and meniscus. So I mean, the name Busted Knee Sports had to come from somewhere. I too had a meniscus injury, so I feel for the guys when they get hurt. Sometimes I feel like we kind of put athletes in a light like they're not humans that God has a plan for, like you and I, and we hate to hear it, man. Like for real, it sucks.
and I mean, getting back to like the whole game, people. I mean, I've heard after the game like Perkins didn't do nothing. He's not doing nothing. But if you look at the game, the type of offense that Nichols ran, you can't expect him to wreak havoc on the quarterback. They got when they threw it, he threw quick,
Mm-hmm.
and then they ran a whole bunch of wildcat stuff. So he wasn't going to be in the backfield all night hitting the quarterback. It's just not the type of offense that Nichols runs.
No, it's not.
I mean, I hope he shows out this week. Actually, this week's his perfect opportunity because Sellers can run. So maybe Perkins puts a little spy on him, and
he didn't against Kentucky, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't take I don't take much away from the Nichols game, negative wise. LSU, they kind of struggled at times, but like I said, they were rotating people in and out all game long. How can you get up to play? I mean, play Nichols.
No disrespect to him, but
and I'm saying that because I got one of my degrees from Nichols, so I'm not disrespecting Nichols. I mean, I want to see Nichols do well.
I was thinking about it, dude. Okay, so the different perspectives that you and I have, I think will help. I think it'll help the show look like the different perspectives is always good, man. I've been watching on TV for a decade now of LSU football. And I got to be outside the stadium in the spring when I was there, but it wasn't for the spring game, so I wasn't even in there, man. To be watching it on TV, we saw a guy like Kyron Lacey battle through a lot in this game. So and because of where your tickets are, where you sit, that Kyron fall down, kind of try to jump over him. That was right by you. So kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the whole play perfect. He did the little whatever jump flip or whatever, and he came down. And at first I was like, man, I think he tore his knee up.
No, I was so scared to hit the ground.
But then he wasn't grabbing his knee. I saw him put his butt up and grabbing his backbone. So I was like, all right, it's his tailbone area or whatever. Yeah. But at first, I thought it was his knee, and I was like, man, another injury tonight.
Yeah, couldn't. Dude, Kyron, dude, he is a warrior, bro. He wants it. He wants it. He's leading the I guess we can talk about it now. We don't really have to. We can bring it up at any time. Garrett Nussmeier's tied for the lead through 2 weeks in touchdown passes, and Kyron Lacey leads the country in touchdown receptions through 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Kyron Lacey's that dog. And we wanted to see it from Kyron. We know the thing is he showed moment, we all have to grow as people. We're all humans, right? So what he did week 1 with the celebration thing that was a little unnecessary and cost us. He's got that much grit. If he can not do that going forward, he's the guy. Talent-wise, he's there.
He's just an emotional guy, and that's what he got to work on. I mean, I've watched a little podcast where I forgot what website it was on. His dad was on there, and he was just he's always been an emotional type of guy, and I mean, he just got to tamper back because, hey, doing those things after a touchdown in a big game can really cost you.
And that's what we hope that been there for a while, came back to be the guy, came back to be a leader, and I appreciate the grit. It was against Nichols, and the announcers they questioned. They were like, "You even bring him back out there? If he's actually tweaked something in the second half because of who you're playing, because we got South Carolina this week, and like you're talking about, I don't take a lot from that game. I do say something that." If there's anything that I don't necessarily love, it's the fact that we go up against one of the best pass rushers in the country this week, and we can pass block, but we cannot. The running game is not there through 2 weeks.
Not yet. And I mean, Brian Kelly says it has nothing to do with physicality from the offensive line. It's just, I think it's scheme right now. I think it's the scheme. So we might see something different, but I'm really hoping. But like the past 2 weeks, even though LSU won,
Best defensive player in college football. That's what the coach says, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of down on Brian Kelly. I criticize him, and I think a lot of fans are starting to criticize him because
I know I am.
I mean he doesn't really take blame for his own team. It's always with him it's always like some type of excuse. Like his excuse was they were tired. They were tired. They came off a short week, which they did. But they also came off a short week the past 2 years when they played Florida State on a Sunday.
And beat the shit out of whoever we played.
And they played Southern they played Southern. The first year. They beat Southern, Grambling. And then last year they beat Grambling.
For the first time we ever played Grambling, we stomped a mud hole in them.
Yeah.
Dropped a hurricane on them, which you're in the middle of. So the people of Louisiana that might be watching this, my thoughts go out to you. My prayers go out to you. I know y'all finna get hit with a hurricane. We
are. Right smack in the middle, man.
That rain will reach me up here in Memphis like Thursday, Friday. So it'll be fun for us, but no, worse for y'all. So we're thinking about to stay Louisiana.
But back to Brian Kelly, I'm not a big Brian Kelly guy, but this is what I don't like. I don't like hearing Notre Dame's fans say that's why we got rid of him. But guess what? In Brian Kelly's last 5 years, he was 54-9 at Notre Dame. Okay, hear me out. In Marcus Freeman's 2 years and 2 games, he's 20-9. So
but Brian Kelly, he's got more signature losses than signature wins, brother.
Right. I don't get the whole narrative that Brian Kelly can't win a big game, but yet they were happy to get rid of him. But now they have Marcus Freeman, who I'm not saying is a horrible coach or bad coach. But look at his record since he became the head coach at Notre Dame 2 years and 2 games ago. He's 20-9. That means he has to win out this year and the next 2 years to have the same amount of losses as what Brian Kelly does. And that Notre Dame team does not look good. And that's why I told you, I know it's early in the season, but I don't think Denbrock was some special coordinator at LSU.
I tried to tell a Heisman voter that on the Paul Feinbaum show. I don't even remember the dude's name. But he was like, well, everybody can agree that Garrett Nussmeier has as much, if not the best arm talent in the country. Right.
Yeah.
Denbrock leaving made that bit of difference. Well, clearly, Riley Leonard can't do a dadgum thing with Denbrock.
No.
So maybe, just maybe, Joe started something in the things that Joe was able to do in the building and Joe Brady brought in. I think we've been better with developing quarterbacks since Joe was there because, 2 Heisman Trophy winners since 2019, 2 in 5 years. That's crazy. After not having a Heisman Trophy winner since Billy Cannon in the 50s.
Yeah. People, during the offseason, you talk to Notre Dame fans and man, we got Mike Denbrock, and this and that. And I'd be like, listen, it wasn't all. First of all, the offense last year was because we had 2 star wide receivers and an electric quarterback that could beat you throwing and running.
He was the rushing offense.
Yeah, and we all knew this year was going to be different. The defenses don't have to play LSU like they had to play them last year. They had to play the run and the pass with Daniels.
Yeah.
Right now, Garrett's not a threat to take off. He ran one time.
Not at all.
I think he ran one time last week against Nichols, this past week against Nichols. But other than that, he doesn't run. And, as far as South Carolina goes, I know you mentioned Dylan Stewart, the defensive end, 5-star. But listen, he is great, and he will be great. But he's a freshman, and he's going up against a junior who's arguably one of the best run-blocking tackles in college football.
Emory?
No, I'm talking about he's going to go up against Will Campbell.
Okay. So that's the Saturday primary. I could not watch. I told those of y'all that came in from or that have watched my lunch break live from Monday. Monday, I talked about how I was trying to get the film on the game, trying to look it up on YouTube. Could not find it because I was going to give y'all like a better defensive breakdown. It's the first SEC game, so I wanted to bring my A game and be as prepared as I could be. But I still took some notes based on the box score. But what do we know about games? Box score doesn't always tell. Box score tells some of it. But what's up, J Rock? What's up, Go
Right,
Tigers?
right.
How we doing?
Like, well, I don't know if you got, I don't know if you got the defensive end Stewart stats or not like that, but I mean,
Yeah, I got him from this. Not, he's got 2.5 sacks on the year
yeah,
so far, but
and like 6 tackles. Now, granted, his tackles are not up there, but guess what? He could be causing destruction somewhere else, like in the game, and the other players are getting the tackles based off of his pressure or whatnot. So, but
yeah.
I think Will Campbell can handle him. I mean,
I think that pretty much covers the Nichols game a little bit, right? That covers the Nichols game a
yeah,
little bit. Before we segue into talking about the South Carolina game, getting into the matchups a little bit, I do want to take a little second to point out our baseball guys. Jaden Hill got called up for the Rockies this past week. So I don't know if you remember former Tiger pitcher Jaden Hill or not, y'all, but Jaden Hill got called up for the Rockies. Dylan and Paul got to play against each other. I don't know if it aligned to where Paul pitched in that series or not. I cannot remember, but they did get to see each other this week. It was good. Trey Morgan still doing his thing down there in Double A. I'm liking to see the Cardinals are making a lot of moves. They finally called up Thomas Sajasi, and we still have former Tiger and national champion Braden Gilbert down in the farm. I think he's in high A now.
yeah, he is.
So make sure that's. And then we can talk on the fact, before we get into the preview of the game, that guy we were talking about today, that high school recruit, the number one player in the class of 2026, man.
Jakeem Stewart.
Jakeem Stewart. How we feeling about Jakeem Stewart? If y'all missed the news today, he's transferring in the state of Louisiana. He's not going to IMG. He's not leaving the state of Louisiana. And we've heard some things a lot about USC being hot on that man's tail. He really wants USC, but to stay in the state of Louisiana, and you know more on that. So I'm gonna let you take the rest of it.
I mean, word is that USC's high on his list. There was rumors that he was going to go out of state, and that was pretty much led you to believe that like he was going to end up going to Ohio State. But he transferred to Edna Carr, which is a school on the outskirts of like New Orleans here in Louisiana. So now the word is, that's a huge, huge win for LSU because he's staying in state. He can't play this year. He can't play. So I think his whole thing he's trying to do is because he was at a school called St. Aug.
Is that where Leonard Fournette went?
Yeah, same school as Leonard Fournette.
Okay, so St. Augustine. Okay.
Yeah, St. Augustine. And that particular school does not let you reclassify. So Stewart wants to reclassify to the 2025 class.
Hey,
so that's what the rumor is.
Bring it on.
He's going to reclassify to 2025. And like I said, I mean, his recruitment ain't over. USC's still very much in the picture. Matter of fact, I talked to somebody today whose husband's big in the high school area in Louisiana and said that USC is definitely a player for him. But it's a good sign that he's staying in Louisiana. And I mean, to me, he's like a game changer. Like LSU needs him at a position of need.
Yes.
Like, we need a DM. Like he's the number one player in the country. Like we need to get him. But so that was some positive news right there because I thought for sure he was going to IMG because that's what the word was.
Man, see, glad the word on the street wasn't that. So as we look forward to what is going to be an 11 a.m. Central kickoff, Tiger Nation, if the good Lord allows it, because today is the only day that is promised to us. If He allows it, we'll be here for a watch-along Saturday morning. Me and this man are never on like the same wavelength TV-wise. What he did for the USC game was hop in during commercial breaks and stuff like that. So, I mean, we might do something like that, a little pregame show maybe Friday because it's an early kick. I mean, I know I'll be up early, because of schedule, but
Yeah,
I mean, what 11
I'm gonna
a.m.
try to like
kickoff? At least it ain't in
I'm gonna
Baton Rouge.
I'm gonna try to hop in here and there. But if you don't see me or hear from me, that means like I lost service because when Hurricane Ida hit us in 2021, I lost service for like a week. We lost power for 17 days last time. So this
Yeah.
one's not supposed to be as bad, but it could get up, they said, to like a high category 2. And last I checked, it's coming like straight between the town I live in and the town like next to me. So depending on how it goes, I might not even have cell phone service. Or if I do, it might be very spotty. So,
All right. Well,
but if
just
not, I mean, if not, I'll be in there for
send me
sure.
a
Yeah.
7 and know you ain't dead, brother. If you
Right,
can't make
right.
the show, send the 8. Send a 9 if you can't make the show. Uh, but yeah, Memphis ain't that far if you ever need to just scoot on up the road. What do you got? I've got Georgia as 11-1 unknown. I think they lose to Ole Miss and Oxford in a few weeks. And I'll be excited. I'll probably be able to hear them crazy mother lovers yelling from here if they do that. Because they going to storm the field. They stormed the field when I was there. And I had to get out of that stadium last year. We had to get out of there. Sorry. Before it got too dangerous. So, without further ado, let's get into the game, man. How initial thoughts, man? We know that Dylan Stewart is one of the best defensive players in the country. He's a freshman defensive tackle. We know that Lenore Sellers is their quarterback. We know they got some speedy weapons. They got some speedy weapons. Taking a look at some of their stats right here that I get into, but here's the thing: we got damn good we got some good edge rushers. We got this man right here at the end of a birthday week, number 7. It's
We got
SEC play, so what does that mean? In my opinion, I think it means Perk turns up, and we got our matchups, dude. I'm excited to see our team play this week.
yeah. Like I mean, like I've been hearing like, how is LSU gonna prepare or how is LSU gonna stop Dylan Stewart? You know what? I'm gonna be flat out honest with you. Going into that game, if you're an LSU fan, you can't even worry about Dylan Stewart. You
Can't.
gotta worry about playing defense. Like I'm not worried. Like I'm not going in that game saying, "Man, I wonder how we gonna stop Dylan Stewart." I'm going in that game being like, "How we gonna like get stops on defense?" Because our defense ain't the greatest.
Yeah,
Like
look at the comment. It's gonna be raining, and we can't run, and we lost Guillory. Yeah, it does. The outlook does not look great, but I'm a believer in Nuss, man. I think that man's gonna
yeah,
cook.
yeah. I mean,
We're gonna
so
score.
I'm not saying like I'm not worried about Dylan Stewart, but listen, he had a sack and a half against Old Dominion. He had a sack last week against Kentucky. Okay, so our offensive line is obviously light years are better than Old Dominion's,
All right.
and they're better than Arkansas. So like, I'm not going in that game saying, "Man, how are we going to stop Dylan Stewart?" We have an All American left tackle.
Will
You know,
Campbell.
I'm going to that game as, hey, let's show up on defense and make a statement and get some stops and put some pressure on Sellers. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. That's what I'm doing.
Perkins made one bit. Perkins has shown up on the stat sheet, right? And he almost tackled the quarterback and the running back on that one play in the USC game. But he made no. Now, granted, you talk about the offense that they ran. I need, in my opinion, I want 7 to do what 7s do. Make a loud play. Make a couple loud plays. I want to see this defense turn the ball over. Lenore Sellers had 3 fumbles last week against Kentucky. They
I
won
want to see
31 to
yeah,
6. They won 31 to 6. But just like that Bama score doesn't tell the whole story, this don't tell the whole story. At halftime, it was 10-0.
right. And South Carolina scored on an interception, I think, or a fumble or return for a touchdown. So
Yeah, it was
I mean,
a pick six. It was a 24-yard
yeah,
pick six for Nick Eman. I don't even know. I'm not going to try to butcher it. I feel like it's disrespectful to do that to folks. So,
right.
Nick, man, you know who you are. 7 total tackles, and you scored a touchdown on a pick six, bro. So, he was their leading
Yeah,
tackler.
yeah. I mean, and then the wide receiver Nick Harbor, he was a 5-star coming out of high school this past year. He never even caught a single ball yet.
No, because their two leading receivers were Bennett and Jared Brown, and Bennett
Yeah.
had 3 receptions for 63, and Jared Brown. You know what's funny about that name? That is actually the name of my uncle, who is a long. He was in the Marine Corps for a long time. Then he joined the Air Force because that's just what you do. He was literally like, man, I served my time in the Marine Corps. I ain't sleeping in the dirt no more. He just liked being in the military. So thank you for all the men and women that serve out there. Tomorrow is September 11th. And so we want to send the condolences out to anybody that's watching this that was directly affected or indirectly affected by the terrorist attack on September 11th, 2001. The days won't be forgotten. All the firefighters, all the police, all the EMTs, all the innocent people that passed away, we will not forget you, and your names will be live on. So just thoughts and prayers to everybody as we talk about that. Now,
What you think about Sellers? What's your opinion on?
dude, I've been on record multiple different times as to say if Beamer Ball was not going to work with Spencer Rattler, it's not going to work now. Beamer Ball, look, this is the first year that I'm fully off of Beamer Ball. Okay, I've been a Beamer believer up until now. And then especially you see like he was 10 of 14 for 166 and 2 tuds. Okay,
And one pick.
and that pick was a pick. No, it wasn't.
No.
It wasn't a pick 6. So like, and then you look at it, like I mean, numbers don't tell the whole. I tried to get film to see what it was like, because those 10 of 14 is good efficiency, right?
Well, yeah, over 14 passes. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's good efficiency, right? But I couldn't watch the game to see if it was all underneath stuff or what it was. I don't know. I just don't think Beamer Ball works without Spencer Rattler.
Right. And like with Sellers, I don't know. His first game, he had 22 carries for 88 yards against Old Dominion. His second game, he had 8 carries for 11 yards. Now, just because it has 8 carries, that could be sacks because the sack counts.
They sacked him 4 times.
Okay, well, then he only had truly 4 carries that game. So what is he going to do against LSU? Is he going to run 15 to 20 times like he did against Old Dominion? Or is he going to not run? And
I think he's going to be forced to run.
you
I
think he's
think
going to be forced to
we're
run?
going to make him run, and Harold Perkins is going to get his ass. That's what I think. Okay, because we saw what we've done defensively a lot, right? We've blitzed the linebacker. I love how Whit Weeks has been playing.
He needs to be on the field all the time.
Dude, I love the way that, we talked about when we talked about the Nichols game, how they mixed coverages up and got like PJ Woodland. He's playing well, man. And so is Ashton Stamps. They moved Sage Ryan to the back end.
Safety now, yeah.
Thank goodness, man. Thank the Lord. Like literally, thank Jesus don't care about football, but he cares about the people that are playing the football. So he inadvertently cares about football, I hope. And so, like, thank you for real, man. Like they made the best decision they could moving him to the back end because he might go out there and be the best safety in the country.
Yeah.
You never know. So, in terms of South Carolina running the ball, man, Sanders had 13 carries for 54 yards. And Ashford had 6 carries for 24 yards. So that's what, right around 8. Okay, that's not even
It's like
100
80-something yards. Yeah, it's like 80-something yards. Yeah. I mean, I think Rocket Sanders is probably one of the best players on their offense.
Yeah, he's electric when he gets in space.
Yeah.
And they do have – I did take South Carolina to the college football playoff on Road to Glory with a quarterback. I'm just saying they got a guy that can take the top off the defense. They got – well, it's Brown that's got the 99 overall speed, ain't it?
No, Harbour. Nick Harbour.
Okay. He's got
But he was a 5-star, and I don't know what's the deal because I haven't watched like the whole games, but like he hasn't even caught a pass yet in the first 2 games. I don't know what's going on with him. Like, is he just like he was a 5-star based off of like his speed and his projectability to be something, or is he a prospect? Like, he's not going to be good his freshman year and burst on the scene his sophomore year maybe or something. Or you never know, he blows up against LSU.
The balls that freak out.
Yeah.
Has the best game he's ever going to have in his college career. 13 catches, 234 yards, 4 touchdowns. They blow us out. That would be the worst case for the Tigers. And I don't. what I think is going to happen, man. Honestly, and before we get into what we think is going to happen with the game, how do you feel so far about the mixing of the coverages and the mixing of the blitzes? Like, are you a fan of what what the defenses look like a little bit so far, like the shell of it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna only base it off of the Southern Cal game because, like I said, the Nichols game,
Can't count it
they don't
really.
run. They don't run a traditional offense where the quarterback just sits in the pocket and throws the ball. So I like what I saw against USC because, like I said, that game could have went either way. Actually, LSU should have won the game. To be honest with you, but
That's
I
what
think, I mean,
heard from Star.
as time goes on, I mean, the defense. I'm not saying the defensive line is going to be like better because obviously we lost Guillory,
That's gonna
but
hurt, dude. That's gonna hurt a
I
lot.
think I think scheme wise and the players getting comfortable, like I think the back end of the defense gets better as the season goes on. Like
A lot.
I mean, I think Zy Alexander coming back is a huge addition to the cornerback. A huge, huge.
And what we failed to mention, and sorry guys, we didn't mention it. Trey'Dez Green had his first career touchdown, the highly touted freshman tight end, and Jawan Johnson, brother, we should have opened the program with this. Dude had over 14,000 yards and just over 71 touchdowns, right? As a high school prep player in Louisiana, both records, right? Comes to LSU because Brian Kelly says, I will get you on the field as a freshman, okay? Well, he's playing DB, and what do we just talk? The DBs are playing well, right? The young DBs are playing well. The guys that we have in key positions, they will make rookie mistakes. It's going to happen, but they're also all going to be damn dogs by the end of the year, especially for maybe the next 2 years, hopefully, if we keep them, whatever. Okay,
Right.
So you look at Jawan Johnson, first career damn game as a running back. Bro gets his first touchdown in purple and gold. Like,
Yep.
two freshmen getting their first career touchdowns. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's probably the biggest and best thing that we can say about that game is
And I mean, that tells you like him getting moved to the running back room. It wasn't Brian Kelly and them saying, "Oh man, we need another running back." That was Brian Kelly and and probably Baker and them saying, "All right, we feel comfortable with the guys we got on playing DB, so let's move him to running back." That's what that
it
tells.
worked. It worked. We scored a touch. Got some momentum. Feels good.
Because he's electric with the ball in his hand.
That's why he has 14 down. Where did he
I
play?
seen him play in high school.
Where did he play?
He played at it's a hold up. Let me think.
Is he from like Baton? He ain't play like one of the bigger Baton Rouge schools, did he?
He's from the outside of Baton Rouge area, one of those schools. I forgot the name of the school, but I'm gonna think of it.
All right, and man. We talked about that in the pre-show too. We definitely hit that in the pre-show. Didn't hit it now, but we covered kind of South Carolina's offense a little bit versus our defense. Now I want to talk about Kentucky. South Carolina's defense versus our offense a little bit. We've got Kyron. We're not sure. I'm not sure as of today about Chris Hinton. I don't know.
I don't think he's. Now they say okay. First he had a bone bruise. So is the bone bruise in his ankle? Because Brian Kelly said yesterday that he was questionable due to ankle injury. So is this the same injury, or did he have something like a new injury? I don't know.
7 viewers and it's number 7's birthday. Hey, that's sucks because Chris Hinton was your breakout player of the year in the last show before. In the last show before the season, Chris Hinton Jr. was his breakout performer, and my breakout performer is Mason Taylor. I think Mason Taylor's going to have a big year. I think it'll be later.
He's about to break the record for the most receptions as a tight end in LSU history.
Yeah, breaking Foster Moreau's record.
Richard Dixon. Yeah, I think he needs like 5 more catches to tie and 6 more catches to break that record.
Let's go, Mason Taylor, son of a Hall of Famer setting records. So when you look at South Carolina's defense, man, they gave up 139 yards on the ground. Like, they gave up 139 yards on the ground. What does that mean for us? It means if there's a game where we're to figure out the running game, it is this game. They gave up. Now, granted, we heard a lot of good things, right? Kentucky fans have been real hyped in my live. They go live on lunch quite a bit. They've been real hyped. on Kentucky's D-line, You gave up, or South Carolina's D-line, whatever. They gave up 139 yards. So, I hope we're going to be able to run the ball. I hope we're going to.
I'll give you my opinion. I think they come out and they're not going to force the run because Brian Kelly already said, like, they're not going to run it just to prove to people that they can. They're going to run it whenever the defense shows them, like, 3 down linemen. They're not going to try to run it if there's 8 men in the box. But I think you're going to see an LSU team that comes out and they actually run the ball. That's what I believe this week.
We got to get it done. I think we can. I think this week is wake up the country week. Defense wake up week. Like, I want to see the intensity, man. I want to see it. Like that's the thing. It's like that's what's putting Brian Kelly on the hot seat for a lot of us. He's just not a guy. The fakes, he screwed himself with the fake Southern accent thing. He set himself up for failure with the LSU thing. Like, he set himself up.
Yeah, that didn't, honestly, being from Louisiana, that really didn't bother me. I thought it was strange, but when he said me and my family, like, he didn't have to do that. Like, people know you're not from the South. People know you're from the Massachusetts area.
One of our guys was live in the locker room, and I heard one of his post-game speeches last year, year before. I'm not sold on the guy, dude. Brian Kelly's going to have us right there, but he's not going to have us bursting through the seams and winning the national championship. We'll be right damn there. But he just doesn't have, and that's why, and I think Brian Kelly knows this. Maybe this is just year 1, game 2, and we're going to go out there and beat the brakes off of South Carolina. Maybe we go out there and we beat South Carolina 44-17 type shit.
I would like that.
I've been struggling with this score prediction, dude. We normally go for about an hour. We're sitting about 45 minutes in. We done ran.
I'm gonna say
talking about.
I'm gonna say the score is gonna be. I'm gonna say the score is gonna be 33-20.
33-20. Favor the Tigers.
Yeah.
Let's see. 34-20. I'll say. Man, how many points am I going to give it? South Carolina? I think this defense is going to give up 21 points.
The spread's 7. The spread's 7.
Okay, what's the over-under set at?
50, I think.
Okay, so that'd be.
Or 50, yeah, 50, I think, or 50 and a half, something like
that. That's like 24-21 type game. I see it as like a 28-21 type of game. I think I'm wrong. I was wrong about the score last week too, so I don't take that for what you will, y'all. But I think it's going to be like a 28-21 kind of game. I think it's going to be close. Maybe this has got to be the defense's coming out party. I think this man right here coming off the end of his birthday week, bro. Like, go out there and be 7. You were 7 against USC when the game mattered. Couldn't really be 7 against Nichols because they played ball control football too. I think LSU's winning the game, South Carolina fans. I think LSU we're going to win a ball game. I'm not going to pick my Tigers.
Now, listen.
Except against Ole Miss.
I said 33-20, LSU. If LSU loses, would I be surprised? No.
No.
With this team, I don't know what I'm getting, bro. Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting. Like, I don't know.
You've been watching Tiger football for longer than I have, and I don't say that like a dig. I say that as like he's seen 20 years longer than college football than I have. Okay.
Now,
this man is literally like the same age as my mom. Okay.
South Carolina, their home field is underrated.
They get cocky, bro.
But guess what? But guess what? The neutralizer to that is the game's at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, buddy.
It's not a night game.
Ooh, so they screwed South Carolina out of that one.
And we all know that, stadiums are a lot better for night games. And why is game day going there is beyond me.
I don't know. I honestly would have rather saw them go up to Wisconsin for the Bama game.
Or, yeah. That's what I thought. No, but they weren't going to go over there because they're going to Bama in 2 weeks when they play Georgia.
So is it just the best? It's not even the best game of the week, is it?
What?
They could have done RDTs and then what's up, Pookie?
I thought they were gonna go to like Georgia, like Kentucky, but like I said, like
They
they're
think
going to
Georgia's
Bama
gonna
in
beat
two
Kentucky.
weeks. But like when I heard the game they was going to South Carolina, I was like, what?
Kevin's probably gonna. I'm surprised Kevin ain't been here. We're talking South Carolina ball, but
But that's my prediction: 33-20. I think they run for. I think LSU runs for like 130.
go ahead.
Nuss passes for. I'm gonna say Nuss passes for 270. They run for 130.
All right, I'm gonna say Nuss passes for 325 and four touchdowns. All those touchdowns are gonna come through the air, and he's gonna pass for over 300 yards. Because I think he's got all that arm talent, dude. Like I'm not scared of any defensive back in the country at all. Mank is an LSU fan, not with who we got, bro.
Right.
If we can hold up against the rush, if we can stop Dylan Stewart, bro,
Yeah. I mean,
they're going to South Carolina because they have no other games. I mean, it's the biggest game of the week.
yeah. I mean, the D line is worrisome because, like I said, their best defensive lineman's out for the year towards Achilles. So we'll see how. I mean, we'll see how that. I mean, Kelly said he was happy with the with Sean Washington and two other guys that got in at D tackle. So we'll see how it goes. And look, you never know. One of these guys who are taking his place with more reps, these guys could be good, you know, and they just don't. Then like they just don't get that chance really in practice, you know, to show what they can do.
We've had it at LSU all the time. Who'd you say the other day? You was talking about a couple of weeks ago. Dude made a roster. He's a starter for the. He's a starter.
That was the linebacker we had, Omar Spates.
Omar Space barely played at LSU. Ironically, with another LSU defender in that same backfield, though, because who is it? What's his name? Christian Fulton is a Los Angeles Charger. So, and I do once again want to shout out to all of our NFL guys. Foster Moreau, big touchdown, cancer survivor. Jaden Daniels, first career rushing touchdown. We saw Brian.
He had two.
What?
Daniels had 2 touchdowns.
Okay, Daniels had two
rushing
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Malik Neighbors looked good. Brian Thomas Jr. looked good. Joe Burrow, you broke my damn heart. I bought this jersey. And what's the song gonna do the first time I put a bet that includes him on DraftKings? Not a sponsor. I just like DraftKings. Breaks my damn heart. Breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Shout out to Old South Apparel, by the way. Use promo code WTO10 to save you 10% off at Old South. They're not a sponsor, or I'd lead off the show with it. But Old South, if you happen to be watching, the email is in the previous order. So, you got any closing thoughts, man? I think we win this week. I think this is Harold Perkins coming out party. Perkins for 2 sacks. Perkins for 2 sacks, Nuss for 300 yards.
I got Perk for definitely a strip sack. I mean, honestly, I think LSU scores on special teams this week.
Hey, Xavier Thomas, bro. Xavier Thomas.
He was against USC. He got tripped up. That was going for a touchdown. Last week against Nichols, he almost ran one back. We got more punt return yards this year than we had the past 2 years.
It was awful on special teams, bro.
I think he takes one back to the house.
This was the first year in an open week we had muffed a punt.
No, because he's been doing it forever. That's what he did at Mississippi State. He was electric punt returner. I mean, and a kickoff too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But
I think they come out, they run the ball, they throw the ball, and like I said, I got them winning by 13.
I got LSU 28-21 Tigers. We want you to know we thank you for tuning in. This is now episode 21 of Tuesday Night Talkin Tigers, concluding here on Busted Knee Sports. If you're in the path of that hurricane down in Louisiana where Jacob is, yeah, be safe. Do what you got to do. I hope the Lord keeps you safe. One thing, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing this show to happen for 21 episodes now. 21 episodes now. I'm just a little kid. There's a little kid inside of me that got bullied that's now doing his damn thing. And I'm just thankful for it literally every day. So thank you. We got a Bama fan out here saying good show. Episode 21. God willing, we'll see you next Tuesday night here at Busted Knee Sports, Talkin Tigers, 6:30 Central. God bless you all. Have a great week. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.